everyone. Today our TIE Talk speaker is going to be Abel Sanchez, a certified public accountant, so let's give him a warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my journey. When I graduated high school, I knew I wanted to be a CPA, an accountant. I know not everyone's in that position, but I set goals in my life. I said, I want to graduate from college in 4 years. I want to become a certified public accountant by age 25. I started school at Cal State Dominguez Hills, graduated in 1995, finished in 4 years, just like I planned. Then I became a certified public accountant. You have to take an exam. Maybe a lot of you are familiar with the bar exam for attorneys. Did that by age 27, a little bit behind schedule. I decided to get a master's from the University of Southern California. Got a master's in business taxation. In that process, I've been working in different roles at different firms, and just last year, at the age of 48, I became a partner at Redwoods, Inc. I'm going to give you a little background on Redwoods, Inc. We are a full-service certified public accounting firm. We're one of the top 10 firms in Orange County. We provide tax services. We do audit and assurance services. I'll touch upon that a little bit later. We also provide CFO services for companies who need their accounting done outside. A couple of things that I didn't put on my slide was we also have an IT company, a subsidiary called the GDR Group. So we do managed services. So for example, if the Tustin Unified School District wants someone, they don't want to hire someone internally, we have a service to help provide them, to help them out with their IT functions. So my role as a partner, I oversee audit, accounting, and consulting engagements of entrepreneurial companies. We help out those entrepreneurial companies and their high net worth owners with their accounting needs. And we also work with a lot of nonprofit organizations. And I said I was going to touch upon what an audit is. Everyone hears about an IRS auditor. I do not work for the government. Typically, our entrepreneurial companies, they will borrow money from a bank. That bank will say, hey, I need financial information from you, the company, to make sure I can trust you with the money I'm letting you borrow. Well, that bank will further require that company to have those numbers verified. That's what I do. That's what our company does. We go in, we look at documentation, and we're examining, hey, they say they made $5 million. Are they really spending the money they say they're spending? They say they own so much property and they have so many liabilities. That's what I do on a day-to-day basis. What do I enjoy? I love, first of all, helping people in general. Whether it's a startup and they're trying to figure out, hey, what am I supposed to do, Abel, on the finances, on the tax side, on the regulation side? We're here to try to help them out. The other thing that I think is a lot of fun, and what I do is I work with different companies. I have 4 samples here. I've worked with clothing companies. You learn a lot about outsourcing. A lot of that either is done here locally in the LA area. There are a few shops here in Orange County who do that. Most of that work when you're getting clothing done is either in Asia or Latin America. I've worked with museums. You know, it's interesting to work with boards of directors, seeing how they have to come up with the financing required to maintain their operations, how they go about presenting their information to and their mission to the public. I work with construction companies, and a client that I'm working on right now is a high-end headphone company, consumer electronics. Why is accounting important? I'm not here to encourage you to be an accountant today, but entrepreneurship. Why is accounting important? Think of it as your dashboard. When you're driving, you're going from point A to point B, you know how fast you're going. That's what your financial information does for you. Companies and entrepreneurs who are successful have a good grasp of their numbers. Believe it or not, guys, there are a lot who do not have a good grasp of their numbers. When you couple that information with other data, talk about your demographic, you know, your who you're selling to, what kind of channel, distribution channels do you have? What is your supply chain? You're gonna have a more successful business. I want to leave you guys with some career and business tips, things that I've learned over the years. Some of these are my mistakes, some are other people's mistakes, success stories that I've seen, and what I've learned from my entrepreneurial clients. And the first one is what I started off with, goal setting. I told you I had my goals. I wanted to be graduate in 4 years. I did that. I wanted to be a CPA by 25. Didn't happen until 27. I didn't meet the time goals that I met, but I stayed on path. But you have to be adaptable. You have to know how to change to the circumstances that life will present to you. Right now, you may want, like Alyssa, she wants to be an engineering major. She wants to go to engineering school. Who knows, maybe when she gets into college, she realizes, hey, there's something that sparks her interest. Then you have to adjust your goals. Something closely tied to that is becoming the best version of yourself. None of us are perfect. So those strengths, keep building on those strengths, and those weaknesses, let's try to compare them. Last week I had a lunch with a mentee of mine. He was doubting his abilities because he was comparing himself to one of his peers. Don't compare yourself to someone else. Each and every one of you is different. You cannot compare yourself, but what you can do and what's going to make a difference in your success, or if you're an entrepreneur in your business success, is becoming the best version of yourself. Work on that and everything will be fine. Networking. Whether it's business, if you're in an academic career, networking is extremely important. It's not just what you know, it's who you know. They provide for opportunities, open doors for you, because you never know when the person you're talking to at a lunch may be your next customer. This school provides you with a lot of speakers, guys. I hope you guys are paying attention to what they say and you guys are listening to them, keeping in touch with them. Many of them are parents. When they come back on campus, you see them. If there's an area that you found interest, go up to them. Learn. Which brings me to have a hunger for intellectual curiosity. I know right now you're thinking, well, Miss Bion, I will never use this in life, but what you're learning, the concepts, it's retooling your brain to think analytically. You may not use quadratic equations. Anyone who works with Excel or will be working with Excel, you will be using basic algebra at some point. I had a client who's a multi-billion-dollar seafood company. My biology knowledge that I had from high school and college, that intellectual curiosity is going to get you to help guide you where you want to go. Now, kind of coupled with becoming the best version of yourself is a mindset of a job versus a career. A job, you're just coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning, not 1 minute earlier, right? And as soon as it's 4:58, you're looking at the clock, packing up your computer and ready to get out the door. A career, you're thinking about something bigger. You're thinking about a goal. You have to have that mindset of, I gotta hustle. I tell people 90 to 95% of my high net worth owners and clients, these are guys people who have $10 million, $20 million homes. They are the hardest working person at their company. And if they're not working hard now, they spend 5, 10, 15, 20 years building their company to be able to be successful and be able to relax. If you don't hustle, someone's going to out-hustle you. As you start, going up the career ladder, it doesn't get easier. People think, well, I'm going to make more money, it's going to be easier. Nope. If you make more money, there's going to be more asked of you. Going back, if you have a job mentality, you're not going to be able to handle that responsibility. There are cycles in life. The way, every summer a certain weed pops up in your front yard. The more you are able to become aware of those cycles, and along with that, have a good understanding of of supply and demand, it's going to help you make better business decisions. Couple that with your accounting data, the information you're getting on what's happening with your company. You bring those things together, you're going to be able to adapt to the market conditions. Right now, people are talking about we're probably moving into a recession. Technology. Right now, everyone's talking, definitely in my world, in many industries, that technology is a disruptor. AI. AI is a big deal right now, guys. I've been talking about it since 2015. What you have to know is how to adapt to those changes in technology. So embrace technology. Think about, how am I going to become more successful? How is my business going to become more successful with technology? And I'm going to leave you with a tip. Almost all my successful entrepreneurial clients, they rely on 3 very key advisors to help them, especially in the beginning stages of their business, the advisory triangle. Always consider, hey, if you have a good accountant, a good attorney, a good banker, and they know each other, they're working together to help you become more successful, it is an asset. You're going to find these people through networking, asking questions, find people, find people who are in your industry. If you ever start your own business, make sure you find yourself a good accountant, a good attorney, and a good banker, and depending on your industry, a good insurance agent. That is my spiel for today. I want to leave it open up to questions.
How did you know you wanted to be an accountant?
It was 1987. I was in the 8th grade. I accompanied my father to get his taxes done. My dad hands over some paperwork, and he says, give me an hour and a half, I'll get your tax return. Gloria, his assistant, tells my dad, Mr. Sanchez, it's going to be $200. I'm like, wow, $200? So I asked Gloria, hey, Gloria, how many clients do you have? I did the math. Oh, this is how much he has in sales, revenue during the year. And I realized, wow, he does pretty well. I knew I wanted to do something in the realm of math. I thought accounting would be it. I took some high school accounting classes, 2 years of high school accounting, something I recommend LMA at least do one semester of. And that's what really drove me to want to do this. And I learned about CPA firms. CPA firms are very entrepreneurial environments. And a mistake a lot of people make is, oh, well, you must be really good with numbers. You work with numbers all day. That is one of the least amount of what work I do is with numbers. I deal with a lot of contracts. I do a lot of writing, a lot of memos. Your English class, extremely important, guys. English skills, how to motivate people. If you end up getting a business degree, one of the most important classes you will ever take. Yes?
You talk a lot about goal setting, and especially for me, I find it hard to find motivation to pursue my goals. So how did you get through that?
My father had a 6th grade education, lived in poverty, and he was a laborer, right? When he came to this country. One thing he taught me was always have a carrot stick, Abel. Now his carrot stick was, hey, I got to work overtime so I can, be able to pay the mortgage, be able to buy a new car, whatever it was. Always have that carrot stick. You have to find that motivation that wants you to keep moving forward. And that's what entrepreneurs do. They find that motivation. They want, it's what drives them. Yes?
So you talked about AI disrupting businesses and having to adapt to that. Is accounting specifically, how do you think that your business will adapt to AI?
Oh, we're changing drastically. I think within the next 5 years, I used to think it was going to be by year 2030. It's been accelerated. A lot of work in businesses, not just accounting, but there's a lot of what I call Excel gymnastics, where people get data here, data there, and create reports out of it. That mundane process is going to be automated. Heck, it could be done now. Just people don't know about the technology. Making one report out of it, a nice pie chart, let's say. And it takes you 5 hours a week to do that, or 5 hours a month. And it'll take you maybe 8 hours to create, this template. But next time you do it, it's going to take you 2 minutes. You just push a button, it gathers the data, and creates the report for you.
What advice would you give students trying to find a career instead of a job?
I think, like I said, I think it's a mindset. It's what are you looking to continue to grow? Yes.
I have a question. Does the CPA help you give you connections or network?
The CPA, when you look at polls taken of business people, the CPA is one of the most trusted advisors out there. So yes, it helps tremendously, and it doesn't limit you to just working in finance. And if you want to become an entrepreneur, it gives you that exposure that I think very few other professions do.
So did you have connections to become a partner with the firm you're at right now?
That's a good question. We'll wrap it up this way. So, I worked at various firms, and every time I'd go to a place, I thought, this is going to be the place. And something happened, maybe I didn't fit in, maybe they didn't like me. But I kept in touch with a gentleman. We became friends. And he approached me in 2018, hey, Abel, we're looking for someone with your qualities. Do you want to come in? That connection is what led me to this opportunity. But I am constantly networking. That's how we bring in business. So yes, networking is essential in the business world. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.